Hey guys, and welcome back to another Axel 72 video, and I'm here with another interview, and I'm here with Dylan Cheema. How are you, lad?
Hey man, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. It's yeah, enjoyed some time off, in and around August, and just getting back into camp now. Just getting back into training and working towards another date. So yeah, all good, man.
Great. Okay, and so am I right in saying you're 26, you're a lightweight, and you're 7-0?
That's correct, and 2 knockouts as well. So yeah, it's been only turned pro for what, last October, and it's been a busy 10 months for me. So it's been a journey.
Yes, definitely. And we'll go through all this journey in just a moment. So if you are new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So going back to the very start, who inspired you to get into boxing?
It wasn't boxing, to be honest. It was kickboxing. It was it was my uncle Baggy. Everyone sees him in the ring. He's a dancer. He's the one that inspired me. You know, he's my best friend's dad. So he was my first ever coach. The guy that taught me what I know today in the terms of how to kick in and then to boxing. And it just sort of spiraled from there. Really, it just sort of went on from having amateur kickboxing fights and turning professional, then winning world title, and then want to reach a peak of kickboxing. It was, what do I do next, and where do I go? And I saw myself moving into boxing, so it was sort of a natural step for me, really, to move into that, and something that I've welcomed and I've taken on and learned as well, to be honest. And yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that you did kickboxing. I didn't know you were that successful though. So, I mean, if you can replicate any of that to boxing, then you'll definitely do well.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we're on the right path to replicate that and achieve the big nights and achieve the big titles as well. It goes back to the same mentality, same ethos that we had when I was coming up in the kickboxing world. It was, just keep winning, keep knocking them out, and keep going. And that's the same mentality I've got now in boxing. It's just win, and just keep performing. And I know it'll come, because I trust my ability as well.
And so you said that you went through the amateurs and the professionals with kickboxing, and so you kind of then moved into boxing. Did you have many actual boxing amateur fights?
None. I think I had one while I was at university, so you can't really count that. To be honest, it was so long ago. So I did train amateur for about 3 years while I was at uni, but I didn't really have many fights. I only had the one. So my time was predominantly spent in and around kickboxing, and then literally just made the jump over. I spent a year during COVID, while everything was locked down and boxing shows were shut, working on the craft, working on what we needed to work on. I didn't jump straight from kickboxing to boxing. Luckily, COVID probably played into my hand a little bit, because I had that time to just work on stuff, make a few little changes. We didn't want to change my style as much, as such. It was just more about making a few little tweaks, working on a few little things that I can get away with and can do in boxing that I couldn't do in kickboxing. So we did that in COVID, and then kicked it off in 2021 with 2 big wins back to back.
And so you obviously didn't really have much of a boxing amateur career, but you had a kickboxing amateur career. So this question still kind of does apply, and that is, what differences, not even just like actual fighting style wise, but just even like in the production or the way it's made or whatever, is there between professional fighting and amateur fighting?
To be honest, in kickboxing, there's not really much of a difference between amateur and professional. It's the only difference is you take off head guards and do longer rounds. The biggest night of my kickboxing career, winning and then defending my world title, was nowhere near my boxing debut, which was on a similar sort of show, a small show. I packed out the room that night, and that was bigger than my biggest night in kickboxing. So you can really see a difference there between kickboxing and boxing. And not knocking kickboxing, it got me to where I am today. It's just you just don't get that recognition, and you get that in boxing, and you do get the big nights in boxing as well. So it's yeah, the level difference, you probably see it more in boxing between amateur and professional. You don't really see it much in kickboxing.
Right, okay. And you spoke quite a bit about these big nights, and even at the very start of your career, you have had a big night in your career so far, and that is being on the Boxer Series and winning the Boxer Series. And so I was wondering, what, like, it's probably something that you'd never really do again, and never had a chance to do again, really, because it is like a very unique thing. And I was wondering, what is it like? How difficult is it to fight? Is it 2-3 times on the same day? Is it? And how difficult is that?
I mean, like, it's 3 fights in one night, so you could be fighting 9 rounds in one night, you know, in the space of, I think it's like 3 hours. So it's quite packed. Obviously, it takes a lot on your body. You know, our bodies shouldn't do this whole warm up, cool down, warm up. Our bodies shouldn't do that. That's where injuries come in. But it creates excitement. It creates, you know, it gives fighters like myself an opportunity to really shine on a big stage, on a big platform. And, you know, fortunate for me, winning that tournament has really propelled my career. You know, we've then now had to go back 2 steps, beating those big guys, shot me into the top 10. Now I've got to go back a couple of steps and now get the right experience and pick up the rounds where I need to, because I only had 2 fights. So, you know, we've got to sort of go backwards a little bit to then look to go forwards in the future. You know, I couldn't jump straight into English title fights. You know, I did need more experience fights. You know, and then pick up the longer distance rounds as well, and have that in my bank as well before I start to push on the into longer rounds and then those big title fights. So it's, yeah, you know, the Boxer tournament sort of made my career and sort of helped me put on the pedestal. And, you know, Sky probably would never have picked me up if it wasn't for that tournament. Definitely. And I said it before, you know, hopefully they have picked up a gem in me and something a little bit special and definitely something different.
And so you've had a bit, you touched on a bit having to go backwards, and I respect that, as because you're only young still. 26 isn't really old for fighting, and to have that level of knowledge to not go straight in. A lot of people would just go straight into them English title fights and then possibly lose, and you were kind of smarter than that, and you saying about having to go backwards to go forwards. It might not obviously be ideal because it means you're not having quite as big of fights, but in the end, in the overall, you're thinking of the long-term plan, and it should make a difference. That's it.
You know, I want to have a long career in boxing. You know, and longevity is going to be the biggest thing for me. It's, you know, it's not all about jumping into this. It's taking the right fights at the right time for me. That's the biggest thing. You know, I've got a really good team around me. They've known me since I was a kid. They've watched me grow up. So. You know, it's not like this isn't our first show. You know, it's our first rodeo. We've done this before. People just don't know what we're like on the boxing side. They got to see what we were like and how professional we were on the night of the Boxer tournament. You know, and that's it. This is where we are. This is where we're at. You know, we've got a plan. My coach have got a plan, and my manager's got a plan as well, and how they're going to progress me and sticking to that plan, and we're going to do what we need to do to get to where we need to get to.
Definitely. And you did have a fight not too long ago, and it wasn't on a big Sky card or anything like that. It was on one of the smaller events, if I'm alright in saying that. And so how I suppose tough in a way, or different is it to go from being at that big kind of Sky and Boxer Series level to then come into just a local kind of event in a way? How's that different?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, for still a ring, still a rope, still an opponent, still a ref, still his corner, still my corner. There's nothing different. Still a crowd. There's nothing really different. Only obviously you just don't have the big camera. Doesn't really bother me. Obviously, you know, people will ask me a question like, "Oh, have I been dropped by Sky? You know, have I lost that content?" That wasn't the case. It came down to something simple as I wanted to. The only date that was available before August. There's normally a little bit of a break in August. Before that August break, I wanted to box again after having only boxed in June. I wanted to box again in July to keep myself busy before that break. Sky didn't have no space to put me on the Bournemouth card, so we just said, look, on this occasion, can I just go away and get a quiet win? I thought it would be a quiet win, but we ended up selling like 400 or 500 tickets. But still, we went and got a win on a smaller show, and Sky and Boxer agreed, and they let me do that. Some promoters are very strict, and they said they wouldn't let me do that. Luckily, they're very good. They're happy that I want to keep busy as well, which is something good. But my next fight and pretty much my fights going forward, we should be getting the dates are coming regular now, so I'll be able to jump on as much shows as I want to and as I need to.
Definitely. And you touched on a little bit the fact of you kind of expected this last fight to be a bit of a smaller one, but it ended up being quite a big one because of how many fans came to see you. And that fact is you are like I don't know if you count yourself as that, but you're an entertainer. I've seen your ring walks, and you definitely know how to put on a show. So
we do try.
Yeah. And so is it the fact of you've just started gaining a big following, just not just alone from the Boxer series, just from your personality and how you entertain?
I guess that's probably true, to be honest. I think we did have a decent following before the Boxers tournament. I think in the tournament itself, I was the biggest ticket seller. I had sold the most amount of tickets. Obviously, being a hometown boy probably played into my favour as well. But yeah, just since that night, I speak to any and everyone. A lot of them are mate. I don't know whether that's just me being me, and that's just me just talking to them and just having an open conversation. They'll ask me a question, and I'll answer it as if one of my pals has asked me a question. I just speak to them and just give them that information that. That I would just sort of give to someone that known me for years. So that's probably what people see in me, probably relating to me, is that just sort of that that I call it like a Ricky Hatton effect.
yeah.
A lad down the pub, but the only thing is I'm just not down the pub.
No, I mean, I suppose that'd be a good thing for when you get later on in your career. You probably won't blow up in as much as Ricky Hatton did in weight.
Try not to.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done, I suppose.
Yeah.
Alright, and so you spoke also a bit before about the fact that you're going to have regular fights now. Do you have a possible date which you could possibly say for a next fight, or is it not confirmed yet?
I don't. There's a few dates that have been proposed, a few dates that we're looking at. We are looking at sort of November time. So we'll see what comes up and see what date fits in our schedule. I would like to. We've had a busy first half of the year, really. Bit of a break now. I had 3 weeks off now. We're back in training, so hopefully once, maybe twice this year, back end of the year would be great, and then go into the new year with touching towards 10-0, and then I think then we'll be looking towards the end of the year, so some bigger fights then.
And so you've kind of gained yourself quite a big following at the moment, and for anybody new that might see this video or just see you in general and think like, why is this guy got such a big following? I was just kind of wondering, what would you say is different about you compared to other fighters? Why should people come and watch you?
I bring a different level of entertainment that people haven't seen before. People come to boxing events and they watch boxing. People come to boxing events when I'm fighting. They'll be dancing as I walk into the ring. They'll watch me box and they'll be dancing afterwards. That's the sort of entertainment that I bring, and I'll walk around the arena afterwards and I'll speak to any and everyone. I'm not one. I'm not one. I'll have my phone. I'll just sneak off. I'll go around and speak to them. At the end of the day, if they've made the effort to come and support me, least thing I could do is say hello and shake their hand or give them a hug or whatever. And that's just me. I think that's a difference with me compared to others, probably.
Yeah, and so you also said a little bit before the fact that you might be coming back in November, or possibly that means you might. Well, I suppose it's October time this fight is, but it's near about November. Is the Fury versus Hunter fight, which is Sky, and so is that possibly the card you might be wanting to get on?
I think that was one of the dates throughout. We've not agreed anything as of yet. Obviously, that's just only just been announced. So I think they're looking to start building that card. Whether I play feature on that card, I don't know. I'll have to see what my team says and where that comes from. But I think that's one of the dates on the card. I don't know whether that's been confirmed yet. You know, I know we were looking at early November, to be honest. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I think I might be trying to go to that card, and somebody else I interviewed who is also on the boxer in Stephen Robinson. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's I believe fighting on that card as well. So it's shaping up to possibly, if you do get on the card, to be a really good card.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think that'd be the first boxing event at the Resorts World Arena in Birmingham as well. So
oh wow,
yeah, it'd be a big night. This is actually a really nice venue. So it'd be a big night of boxing there, definitely.
Definitely. And then, so you're just at the start of your career. You've got these big fights, which you're saying is ahead of you. And so I was wondering, how far do you think you can go?
All the way, 100%, all the way. You know, you don't come into. I never knew where I would get to in boxing. You know, achieving a Midlands title and then pushing on from there was a dream. Obviously, now it's on a get to the British title level and then push on to worlds. You know. That's where I see myself. That's where my team think we can get to, and I'm sure we'll get there. So we're looking to go all the way and really do some wonders in the world of boxing.
And just as a person, you do seem like a genuine and humble person. I know you're saying you think you can go all the way, but that's not cockiness from you. I can see in you that is just genuine confidence you have in yourself, which I do very much respect as a person.
Definitely. Look, you do have to believe yourself. You know, I wasn't one of them when I turned pro. I didn't want to start saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that," because that's just daft. Yeah. So I mean, I'm realistic as well. You know, obviously, being on Sky is obviously going to help my career massively. You know, definitely. It'll pull in fights that I probably couldn't pull in before, but we'll get them fights made. So you know, it's. So yeah, it's you know, we're on that platform, and it's only going to benefit my career, you know.
Definitely. And so I'll leave it with this final question. You've got a little bit of a platform here to say whatever you would like, and so would you like to shout anything out?
Just all I can say is thank you to all the support from everyone. You know, I don't only get support from the UK. I'm so fortunate I get support from all over the world. You know, India, Canada, America, Australia. So. And many other countries, Germany as well. So I'm just thankful that I get support from all over the world. And keep tuning into fights, keep tuning in, and keep following the journey on my Instagram and Twitter. And let's have some big nights again. You know, we're definitely going to have some fun. You know, everyone that's sort of supported, you know, bought a ticket, watched online, sent me videos. You know, you're all part of what I call now my fighting family. You know, everyone supports my fighting family.
All right, okay, and so I believe it won't be too long until you do get them big world title fights. I can definitely see it in you that these things will definitely come, and you've got such a good platform just at the very early of this career that I'm sure all the fans will be cheering you on as well. And so it maybe in a few years when you are getting them big fights, we can come back and do a return for you.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Sounds good.
Alright, great. Okay, well, thank you very much again, mate.
Yes. Okay. Thanks very much. Have a good night.
Yes, you too, mate. And if you are new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do, and you like the video, and thanks for watching.